I'm going to add to the pile of index cards as well. So, my name is Joe Nuspl, and I'm going to talk about team building. Now, I was super stoked about DevOpsDays Madison because I grew up less than an hour from Madison. So, I grew up in a town called Palmyra. It's right over there. That makes it look much more significant than it actually is. So, who am I? I am a senior operations engineer at Workday. I'm also the author of the Zap Cookbook for Chef, and I'm one of the DevOps Days organizers. So I've been doing a lot of hiring these days and doing onboarding. So this is kind of where my head was at. So when you're onboarding new employees, you train them obviously, but more importantly, you need to make them feel part of the team. So how do you do that? Well, you Google team building exercises, and you find things like, trust falls and fire walking. It's too bad. This is a great animated GIF where these two headbutt. It's awesome. But what if I told you there was a safer and simpler way of doing this? And that is Pandemic, the board game. And I know what you're thinking. Board games? I don't like Monopoly or Candyland. Trust me. Board games have evolved since your childhood. You know, the goal is simple. Just find the cure for 4 global diseases. That's where it stops being simple. Being a cooperative board game, you're working together to actually, against the game. The game is trying to kill you. Actually, Matt Leacock is trying to kill you and the rest of humanity by spreading diseases across the globe. So the players, as I said, must work together. The thing of it is you're talking about strategy every turn you have. And this is the best thing about it is you're working together. So one of the things is that experienced players have no advantages over beginners. Sometimes experienced players, it makes it easier to learn. But the experienced players feel like they need to sort of play naively, to not overwhelm a beginner, because then if they get decimated, they're like, I don't want to play. So there are many ways to lose, but there's only one way to win, and that is together. So how does this relate to team building? So in the words, I'll have a bad reference to Karate Kid, but wax on, wax off. You're practicing skills without even knowing it. So you're practicing effective and efficient communication because you're talking about what you're going to be doing at each turn of the game. So in the game you have different roles. And these have different, have different special abilities that you can do. This is the same thing on your team itself. Different people are better at various things. Somebody's good at troubleshooting. So one of the roles in the game is a medic, and it's very powerful. And playing with it, without it, you have to develop a completely different strategy. The same thing happens in your work. What if your Nginx expert is on vacation? So the other thing that is great about it is you get to see how people operate under stressful situation. Are they risk takers? Do they ask for help? Are they bossy? Knowing these things before a crisis can help you figure out how to best utilize these traits. Bonding is the other thing to do. If you've ever worked on a crisis, after you finish this up, you feel like, hey, we did it, we've got it. So using Pandemic, you can actually do this without producing a crisis. There are other ways where you can increase the intensity. We add a timer, or you blind the cards. And if we play tonight, which I encourage you, I can show how those things work. So the one other thing that I'd like to say on this is that being a cooperative, there's other cooperative board games in different genres. I can spout to any of these games and the how you can use different things, aspects of these games to apply to your work environment. And I just like to leave you with if my contact information on GitHub. I am no vowels with no vowels, and the obligatory we're hiring page. And in closing, I just want to take a quote from. Well, I'm out of time.